This week we've got fresh announcements, starting with Harman introducing a new rally bar. Viper introduces a new SmartStart application. ACCEL Electronics with a brand new set of commercial cameras. Maestro reinforcing the importance of the SR line. And BRANDMOTION introduces the new Surround View 360 camera system. This is CMA Live All Access, brought to you by SiriusXM, and it starts now. Now, there's no doubt that sound bars have become such an important way of getting great sound into all different kinds of applications, whether you're putting them on a power sport, putting them on your boat, putting them on any type of vehicle, really, even golf carts. And one company that has done an amazing job executing on this platform is JBL with their Rally Bar. Well, big news, JBL is coming to the market with a new revised version of their very popular Rally Bar. And we're going to find out what exactly are the new features. Joining us now is their product expert, Eric Stackley.
Absolutely, Ben. Yeah, here to talk about Rally Bar Gen 2, all the exciting new features that builds upon the best sounding soundbar on the market.
So, Eric, the Rally Bar has been a huge success for JBL. I remember going to MasterTech Expo and seeing this ridiculous wall of Rally Bars and the amazing sound that came out of it. And honestly, it was a pretty darn near perfect product. So I'm really excited to see what you guys did that improved upon the successful platform that the original Rally Bar is. So this is Gen 2. Why don't you break out for us some of the key features?
Absolutely, Ben. So a couple things on Gen 2 Rally Bar. We didn't want to go back to the drawing board and rebuild a sound bar that didn't need rebuilding. What we wanted to do is take user and installer feedback and improve upon the small things to make it even better than it was before. One of the key things that has to do with weight on the Rally Bar ACCEL, which was a hefty beast, 300 watts RMS, big bar, we reduced the weight by 4 pounds and 2 pounds on the Rally Bar by switching all the drivers to neodymium magnets to really reduce the weight of that bar.
Are you kidding me? So the new Rally Bar is running neo magnets on the drivers? That might be the first that I've heard.
Yes, correct.
Amazing. So obviously now, if you're going to have a lighter bar, that's better for installs. And when you're tossing it around a side by side in the mud, a lighter weight soundbar is going to be advantageous. But what about the performance? Does that affect the output by any means?
It does. The biggest improvement we made was some sonic improvements and a smoother curve, especially at the upper register. The bar is slightly louder, but the sound profile is even improved with our new AI sound boost technology, keeping distortion at an absolute minimum, even at 100% volume, so that you can play this thing as loud and as wild as you want without any issues. And whether you're at 20% or 100% volume, still have that JBL signature sound that we all know and love.
All right, so amazing volume, amazing output, lighter because of neo magnets, so higher performance. What about power ratings between the Power ACCEL and the regular one?
Yes, so 4 models. There is a 35-inch that's 300 watts RMS that is now included in 2 colors, black and white.
Oh, white.
Yes, that's new for Gen 2. Okay. We've got white. So we also have the Rally Bar 21-inch, which is 150 watts RMS. And then we have the Rally Bar S in white, which is same wattage, same performance, same neo drivers, but without the dynamic LEDs that's included.
So when in situations where you may not want LEDs, although
exactly.
I say the LEDs on the JBL Rally Bar is one of the nicest LED layouts out there.
I agree. I
don't even know why you would get a Rally Bar without LED, to be honest with you. But anyhow, that's just me.
Right.
All right. So white option, neo magnets, same great output, lighter body. What about the elements? Have we done anything to improve how tough it can be in the elements?
We have went from an IP66 rating, improving upon that to an IP67. So no matter marine applications, saltwater, ATV, power sports, or even a golf cart, JBL is going to have you covered in the elements.
So let me get this right. If you guys are just tuning in, we're with Eric here from JBL. We're talking about the next gen Rally Bar, major improvements, guys. We're talking about neo magnets, same great output, lighter than before. white option, and now even more resistant to the elements. Now an IP67 rating. What about a cool feature? I know the AuraCast feature is a fan favorite. Is that stay on board as well?
Yeah, so from Gen 1 to Gen 2, you always had party mode with Gen 1, which could communicate and pair with other rally bars. What we've done is added the AuraCast technology, which is available in all JBL portable products. So if you have a party box or a JBL Flip or a charge or a boombox, now your rally bar will work in that JBL ecosystem using AuraCast technology.
Okay, so I stand to be corrected. AuraCast was not a feature on the original rally bar. This
Correct,
is a new feature.
correct.
Okay.
Yes,
Got
new
it.
feature.
So if you're into all the JBL goodies, which many people are, you can now connect them all and have a party via AuraCast, including the new power bars.
That's right.
Now, last but not least here, it already came with some really cool mounting options. Is there any changes there?
So other than a color of all the bracketry on the white model, now you have kind of a really nice dolphin gray hardware that matches the styling of the white bar. The hardware is all the same, still the same, everything included, tools for mounting, very easy install. But one key thing we did change, we went from the 3.5 millimeter input now to a standard RCA, which a lot of installers ask us for because you have a lot more reliable cables with an RCA than you do a 3.5.
3.5 just fall out all the time.
Right.
Like how many times have we electric taped a 3.5 input with and made it ugly just to make sure it stayed in? So that's a good call.
Exactly.
All right. So one last review. We're talking about the new Rally Bar Gen 2. There's a white option. It's lighter. It's running Neo magnets. Great power. Now with AuraCast to connect all your JBL portable devices. It's got the mounting options. Eric, the only question I have left is, when is this new Rally Bar available?
That's the best question, and that is right now. It is available at jbl.com as well at all your local retailers. Check them out, and they're in stock now.
Hey, Paul with SiriusXM here, and with 3 easy steps, you can maximize your business. Number 1, make sure you have the current promotional material up. Understand the offer, make sure your team knows it. 2, have a unit on display. Set the preset to different genres so you can recommend and play the music that your customer listens to. And number 3, think about this. Most vehicles you're replacing the head unit with already has a SiriusXM tuner in it. So adding it just requires an antenna adapter, a SiriusXM tuner. It's a 30-second install and you're done. So there it is, guys. 3 easy steps to maximize every sale this season with SiriusXM.
Now, when it comes to remote starters, of course, everybody is familiar with the SmartStart application for Viper. Well, recently they've introduced a brand new application that you need to know about, which has a lot of new features and potentially a glimpse into where this app can take us as far as control of your remote starter. Joining us now is their product specialist, Justin Gear, to tell us more. Hey, Justin, welcome to CMA Live. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having me, Ben. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Today we're talking about something very specific, right? We're talking about an updated SmartStart application for Viper and directed SmartStart. So I guess the first question is, if I'm not crazy, there was already an app, right? So why did we need to introduce a new one?
Well, a couple reasons. We needed a new, fresh, updated look, but also we're moving towards the future. So we have products in development that the new app will work more seamlessly with, where we, instead of updating the code on the old app, we could just create a new app and help work better with the new product that we're developing.
Understood. Sometimes when we come up with the app, and that original app's been around a couple of years already, so
about 10 or so.
Right. So sometimes it's just easier to change the platform to be able to do more than try to fix the old one that you had. So that makes total sense. So this new app, is this available on the Play Store and the Apple App Store right now?
Yeah, we've actually released it a couple months ago, and the old one is still available as well. But there is 2 differences when you're looking them up. So if you're looking up the legacy app, as we'll call it, it will just be under Viper or directed SmartStart. If you're looking up the new app with the new design and new layout, it will be Viper and directed SmartStart Pro, and they'll all be in capitals. So it's the old app is just Viper directed SmartStart in lowercase, and the new app is Viper directed SmartStart Pro in all capitals.
All right, very good. So don't make that mistake. There are two apps, so don't be confused. It's the whole reason why we do these things, to keep you guys informed. The new app, as Justin has explained, is available on both the Google Play Store as well as the Apple App Store. Okay, so let's talk about some of these new features that the new app has. You talked about the look and the feel, right? The graphics, the updated vehicle imagery. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so before you could put pictures on the Legacy app 100%, but you had to search them specifically when you were looking at that vehicle. Now what we have is you can, if you have multiple vehicles, where we have people with fleets and or people, we have car enthusiasts that have three or four vehicles, and now when you go into the garage, which is a feature on the new app, it shows you a specific picture of each vehicle right off the bat, so you can take your own picture. It's not a picture we uploaded for you, so you can go, take it to a parking garage and take your sleek picture of your Nissan Altima that you love so much, and throw that on the app, and love the picture that you took yourself. And that way you can, it's ease of use on top of customizing it personally.
Yeah. I appreciate little things like that. You know what I mean? Anybody
Right.
who has multiple vehicles that's going to install remote starters in every single one of them. It's a nice little touch. It's modern. And I think that's a slick little addition to the new app. Let's talk about the quick command page. What's the new change there?
So on the quick command page, that's where we're sending all of our commands. So lock, unlock, start, trunk, panic, auxiliary 1 and 2. All of those before were just a press and release, where some people didn't like that because you could accidentally send a command. You can go in and customize it where you have to do a press and hold. So you have to be very deliberate in sending the command, so there's no accidents happening. My car accidentally started because I had the app open and I slid it in my pocket.
Pocket dial.
Right. Yeah, you
Right.
pocket dialed your car and you started it, and it ran for 20 minutes, and now you're low on gas. That you can customize that yourself if that's a worry, or if your kids play with your phone as well, they would have to press and hold. So these are all things that were thought about when we were in development.
All right, if you're just tuning in, we're here with Justin from Viper, and we're talking about the brand new and updated Viper directed SmartStart application. Justin's taking the time to talk about some of the new features, also talking about the distinction between the old and the new, both still available on App Store. There is another feature that I did want to highlight because I noticed this one, and it has to do with the new starter kill. Or maybe it's not new, but there's a new application to this feature. How do we explain this?
So for years, people have asked for, because we do tracking, we can do just tracking with the SmartStart, and for years it had been asked for by installers and consumers alike to also do a starter disable. If you're tracking your vehicle and say it gets stolen, you can disable the starter, so if they do shut it off, it can't be restarted. Or if a lot of rideshare companies are using it as well, so they can, the keys are transferring between rideshare users, and that way the customer themselves can lock the vehicle down and also have the starter disable. Even if the rideshare user doesn't return the keys, they can't start the vehicle at that point in time. And it's something that we added, so it's not new. We didn't design a whole new piece for it. We just updated our current hardware with new firmware over the air. So it happened naturally. People didn't even know it happened. So that's why when we get callers, I'm also technical support, so we'll get some technical support calls, and they'll ask why it's doing an update right upon plug-in. That's because it's a device that's been sitting on a shelf for about a year. So as soon as they power it up, it does that over-the-air update, which enables that starter kill function.
So 2 takeaways. The starter kill function will enable by itself, and you don't have to worry about updating it, because the moment they install it, it'll get the over-the-air update, and everything's up to speed, and you're ready to go.
Right. Well, if the customer comes in and that's what they want, the installer then sets that up in the back end. So during activation, the installer will customize it for standalone, for tracking, and then turning on that starter kill disable functionality through the app. So it's all during the activation process.
And there you have it, a quick update from Viper on the new Viper and directed SmartStart application. I guess it's the second or newest version. Look for that. I'm going to imagine this is going to be the platform moving forward with any other new features that might be coming down the pipe.
Well, yeah, with all the things we have in development, As you know, Chris Labardi took over our product development, and we're looking forward. And that's again why we made the new app for its expandability, and also for its sleekness. If you look at it, it's just a very up to date, very current looking app, and it's very sleek and quick. It's the same speed that we had before, 2 to 3 seconds response time bouncing off the cell towers to execute the commands. But just a very nice update, and the best part is it's not done. So as we're moving forward, we get to add to it.
Beautiful. Well, thank you, Justin, for coming in and updating us on the new app. If you guys want more info, make sure you hit up viper.com.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Ben.
CE Outlook is dedicated to keeping the car audio and electronics industry informed on the latest issues, trends, and product releases. New feature stories posted daily. Visit ceoutlook.com for the latest industry news. So if you're in the market for some camera solutions in the commercial division, well, you know there's a lot of options because everybody needs cameras these days, especially for safety. One brand that's been really committed to this category is ACCEL Electronics, and they feel they are unveiling a brand new family of cameras that will have all the features you're looking for under one roof. Joining us now is Vice President of ACCEL, Christian Way.
How you doing, Ben? Yeah, we just launched our new J series. We're pretty excited about it. It's a full line of just about every camera you need, every screen. They're all AHD compatible, and they all work together. And it's a series for a reason. And we're just excited to launch them and let you guys know what we have. Let's jump into it.
All right, so this is called the new J series family, really, of cameras coming to you from ACCEL Electronics. Now, you mentioned AHD, which is one of the first questions I had lined up anyways. But, you know, camera technology has changed quite a bit. And for those of you that are deep into it, you know as well as I do, compatibility is always going to be an issue. But also, you're looking for solutions with a wide range of features. So I'm hoping to cover that with you today, Christian, and talk about some of these features that this new J series covered. Why don't we just jump right in and go to the website, because I think this is going to be the best way to kind of walk through what this new J series is all about, so you can tell our dealers and our listeners what this is all about. All right. So here we are. We're on the ACCEL website. Walk us through what we're looking at here, Christian.
Yeah, let's jump into the RVC 500 AHD. And again, that's a pretty common looking frame, very durable housing. You've seen that housing style. But what's inside it matters the most, right? So you have IR, so you have a good solid night vision, really rugged housing. Most importantly, you have a Sony chip. All the cameras in this series have a Sony chip, which really, really makes that image phenomenal, right? So again, they're all AHD, they're all 1080p plus.
What about reverse imaging? Does this thing do that?
Yeah, we're going to get into that. So once you stay in the series, you'll have a lot of image control, which we'll talk about once we get to the monitors. So yeah, if you want that to be standard image or reverse image, and you stay within the J series, you'll be able to control all that.
Okay, very nice, very clean, very industrial looking, and most importantly, tough looking, which is exactly what we need.
Yeah, it's rugged, and don't forget the connectivity. Obviously, you have the mobile connector there, so we have all the cables you need: 30, 50, 10, 15, 60-foot 4-pin connectors, all waterproof. So it makes it for a really seamless, durable install.
Which one do we want to look at next?
Let's run over to the side cams.
So the side cams, that would be this one right here.
That'd be the SVC 500, correct? Side view camera, 500.
So this is like a blind spot camera, right? Kind of like for the side of the trailer or truck?
Yeah, precisely, right? You're going to have one on either side. Again, you're going to get the Sony chips. You're going to get the highest quality image, right? Even on AHD, there's big variances, between, the quality of image, the contrast, all the above. So the Sony chip really provides the best of all. So yeah, with that, you're going to get, again, AHD, you get a mobile connector, you get a solid rugged metal housing that's adaptable, for either side. It's a phenomenal piece.
All right. So we talked about the big mini surface mount. We touched on the side cameras. You kind of got all the angles covered now. But what about like dash cam style, or inside or outside back?
Yeah. But one thing one thing I failed to mention on the SVC on the side cam also, there's a ball cam, so it's adjustable. So that camera you can move from side to side. So it's not like you're stacking up with a bunch of inventory. You have one cam that's gonna work for you on the left and the right. You could even do it forward and standard. We'll go back into that in some of the image.
I'm gonna use a geeky word here, Christian. This camera is ambidextrous.
It is a bit ambi, yes, dexterous.
All right, awesome. Very good, very, very good. So yeah, back to my question. What about when it comes to like dash cam style cameras, front view, inside view? What do we got there?
Yeah, so we can jump into the RVC 1700W. Yep, WM HD. That's a window mount. Again, really solid. It's full die cast metal, and if you look at the dial at the side, that's going to go right up against the glass, and then you're able to adjust. The imaging also comes with the Sony chip, AHD compatible. You have a mobile connector on it, and it's really durable. It's die cast metal, so it's going to kind of also release some of the heat. It can be pretty hot up there. So it works like a heat sink at the same time. Gets everything away from the chips.
I think it's important to mention, we are talking about commercial grade stuff here. Everything you've mentioned so far is overbuilt. The metal casing. Yeah. I see it's real 3M tape and all this type of stuff. So that's very cool.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And good point on the 3M. Most of that. That's a very, very high adhesive 3M.
All right, so I'm gonna guess we're gonna go to the RVC 1570 AHDDJ next, because I think I know what this is.
Yeah, so again, it's commercial, but you can also go down to it can go to consumer, right? Or Uber drivers. A lot of times, people are going to want their cameras to have front and back. This one has them both. Again, you're going to get the Sony chip. You're going to get a really sleek design. As you can see, you could actually put one towards the back and one towards the driver if you wanted to on an Uber, or you can do it forward facing. That camera flips. So if you look at it, it's just a really, really beautiful design. It's extremely clean. I'll even kind of show you. I have one up here.
Actually, let's go ahead and take a look at that.
Yeah. Yeah, she's really nice, man.
And great for RVs, great for RVs, great for coach buses, anything like that.
Yep. And so you have IR for the inside of the vehicle, all right? And then you have standard for the outside. The resolution on them, again, 1080p on both. You have the Sony chip on both lenses. I wish I could tell you it was the least expensive camera in the world, but it is.
Hey, man, really, you get what you pay for. You get what you pay for.
It is honestly one of the best, right? And then you have your mobile connectors. So super cool camera. Really one of my favorites. I'm most excited about that.
Well, I think all of them make sense, right? We've kind of covered 360-degree and inside coverage with the 4 cameras you've just presented. But let's talk about, obviously, the monitors as well. So what options do we have here to connect it all?
Yeah, so we can start. If somebody wants a mirror mount, we have that. And then that's the RVM DVR 704J. It's a 704 because it has 4 inputs. And it's a nice stylish cam, for commercial. It'll work. You can either clip it on, or you can glass mount it. Comes with both those options. 4 inputs, all mobile connectors for connectivity. So everything is seamless. It'll do AHD, non-AHD, though all the cams in this series are AHD. It's really nice. And what is most important in that? Let's go back to that. 2 really important parts. When I was talking about all the different cameras and their capabilities, whether it's reverse, you don't have to worry about it. Just have one of everything in stock and you're good to go, because both of these monitors that we're about to show you, you have image control in there. So you can just go into the menu and flip the image. You can go side to side. You have all full control of the image with both these monitors. So as long as you're using these, you're in great shape. It doesn't really matter, which one of the J-series
right,
cams
they're not specific. You could basically control them any which way you want.
Correct.
All right. So let's jump.
Again,
this looks to be a bigger screen here.
Yeah, it's a 7-inch. It's just a little more of a durable housing. It's not something you're gonna glass mount, though we could if you wanted to. We have mounts for that. But again, just really robust internally. You have the 4 inputs. They're all triggerable on both those screens. You have image control on both those screens. And most importantly, you have a built-in DVR on both those.
I was going to ask you, was there a DVR option going on here? So this screen actually comes with a DVR?
It's already built in. It's about 256 gig. It's enough to kind of, roll over itself. But if there's an incident, you want to capture it, you stop the recording and it's not going to record over itself. So it'll record all 4 images. Again, all triggerable on this one, which is really nice. You have that quad view, so you can program which view you want. But
sorry, just to cut you on triggerable. So for example, if I wanted to right lane change, I could trigger the right side camera to come on the screen.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Correct. All right, cool.
Mm-hmm. And that's on both of them.
All right, very nice. So complete. Again, 2 different styles depending on what you're looking for. 4 different cameras. I see this other item here, and I was going to ask the question. I noticed that everything is wired. What about a situation where we want a wireless scenario?
Yeah. Then you jump down to the RVC Wi-Fi AHD. So it's one of the only ones on the market, really. I haven't seen a lot of them. It's a wireless transmitter receiver, but for AHD quality, right? And there's probably a few out there, but I don't know if they work as well as this. This one works flawlessly for probably about 150 feet. Our testing, it blew us away. So again, you're just putting that in line, right? So you put that up by the camera transmitter, over by the up under the dash, wherever you have the screen. You just plug in the receiver, and you're done. Power, ground, camera, image, and you're good to go.
Amazing.
So say if you have like not box trailers, you have trailers you want to put on a boat, a horse trailer, or something that's not always there, and you want to be able to disconnect as soon as you come in. That's always a good way without having complicated wired solutions.
Well, Christian, if you guys are just tuning in, we're with Christian here from ACCEL. They're launching a brand new series of commercial cameras. It's called the J series, literally AHD compatible all throughout, every which way possible, whatever configuration you want. Comes with 2 different new screens to be able to complete the system. And even if you need a wireless application, maybe a trailer or something like that, they have that as well. Night performance with the Sony chip, of course. What about compatibility? This is really what I want to know. What if I have other ACCEL cameras? Will this work? Is it integrated? Is it compatible?
Yeah, absolutely. It'll do AHD. It'll do standard image. Again, we have some other, new launches. I think you saw the at the CMA show. We were showing our new stainless steel cam, which is unbelievable. I mean, it's I'm just gonna drop it. That's what it sounds like on my desk.
It's a brick.
It's a brick. It's solid. It's the most durable camera on the market. 1080p IR, unbelievable cam. So compatible with that. And again, you can still use some of our other solutions. And there's links that I sent you. But with the fog light cam already built in, we have a round version, square version.
So you really built this J series to be complementary with all other products and really be a one-stop shop for any build that you're working on. This will cover it.
Yeah, we also wanted to make it kind of foolproof, right? So a lot of times people are buying head units, and now they're getting cameras in there, and they're like, "Hey, how many times we got a call? You're like, hey, we have your camera in this deck, and the image isn't coming up. Your camera's broken. It's not broken. It's just the deck it's not ready for AHD yet." Right, and we just wanted to make it foolproof, and that way, everything you get in the J series is all going to work together. You stay within the J, you're good to go. And then, if there's other specialty cameras that you want, just ask us. But 99% of them are going to work well with that.
On that note, where should people go get more info, and when is the availability for dealers to get their hands on some J series?
Yeah, so J series is launched in stock. It is going. You can capture all that on our website. Go to our website, accel.com, and then if you go to safety, as soon as that comes up, you'll see the J series right there. You just jump in. 8 SKUs, ready to rock.
So when it comes to integrating an aftermarket radio into a car, well, then you are under a rock if you're not aware of the solutions that Maestro brings to the table. Of course, everybody is very familiar with the RR, an amazing and brilliant system that many radios are compatible with. But did you know that Maestro also came up with an alternative solution called the SR. Well, what does the SR do? We're going to find out with our guest today. Matt Yerger is joining us from iDataLink Maestro. He is the infotainment product manager. Welcome to the show, Matt.
Hey, Ben, thanks for having me. Yeah, we introduced the Maestro SR. It's been out for a few years now, but I feel like it's important to remind everybody kind of where it fits in the line and some of the features that it offers.
All right, Matt, I remember when the SR came out, and you know what? It was very clear at the time. It's been out a couple, months, years now, and obviously applications and so on and so forth. But this is a good opportunity for our dealers tuning in to get a better understanding of where this fits. Because I can tell you off the bat, every dealer, I'm going to say every dealer, most dealers already are working with, the regular RR platform. The whole thing about it, the modular, the flashing, all of that. So let's start from the beginning. What does the SR provide dealers as a solution?
Yeah, so we came up with the idea for the Maestro SR actually during COVID, when there was a massive shortage of Maestro compatible radios. And although you can use a Maestro RR to install a non-Maestro compatible radio, it's expensive. It's going to be more expensive than a lot of our competitors' products. So our goal is to make a radio replacement solution that competed at a lower price point, obviously offered all of the benefits of, that you like from a Maestro product. It's flashable, it uses a T-harness to install, but kind of gear it more towards a non-Maestro compatible radio.
So that's interesting that you said that. There's two things I wanted to dig in here. If you were going to use an RR unit for a non-compatible radio, you are literally wasting money because you're not taking full advantage necessarily of all the features, right?
Yeah.
And to your point, this is where the SR comes in. So I think what we want to identify now is, number one, in any manufacturer, all of your manufacturer partners, doesn't matter if it's Alpine, Sony, Kent, whatever, there's going to be the higher upper tier units that are all going to be Maestro RR compatible. And then there's going to be a mid to lower entry level tier that isn't, right? And then from that point, the dealer has to make a decision. How am I going to install this radio? And to your point, there's lots of other brands that provide solutions in this range. So talk to us a little bit about first, what are some of the feature differences now between an RR and an SR integration?
Right. So the SR is exactly like the RR in that it is a radio replacement interface module. All of these cars that it supports need a module to turn the radio on and to retain the steering wheel controls. And that's what the SR does. But what you get differently with an RR with a Maestro compatible radio, obviously, is you get a higher level of integration, but you also get features that, like gauges, you get vehicle info with tire pressure monitoring. It's a full scan tool. It does a lot of things. And so we kind of stripped all of that away. Obviously, you can't have access to any of those features unless it's a Maestro compatible radio. So we don't need all of that, right? So we stripped away that. Probably the most important thing, though, is we also do not support climate controls on there. So really where the big differentiating factor is what kind of car is it going into? So if you're installing it into, say, like a Chrysler vehicle, 15 or newer, we do climate controls on every single one of those vehicles, whether it's the bare bones entry level or the top of the line model. They all support climate on the touchscreen. Therefore, you have to use an RR in that application. Right. But if it's a vehicle that doesn't support climate controls and the customer is really like, I'm more on a price, I'm on a budget here, they don't need all of that extra stuff. The SR is geared towards that customer, somebody that's looking to buy, a radio to replace their existing radio, but they're doing it on a budget. The SR fits that customer.
I'm going to say, when you're talking about that more budget conscious customer, this is going to be the customer that isn't necessarily looking for the high-end radio that has the audio performance features, like maybe an optical out or thing like that. Or maybe it's just a customer that wants to, get a bigger screen, wants that CarPlay Android Auto. There's lots of customers that just aren't coming in necessarily to upgrade their radio for the audio benefits, but maybe for the creature comforts. And in that sense, they are going to be budget-minded. And this is a great solution. So what I like about the SR, and if dealers haven't caught on to this, is if you are already in the workflow of installing RRs, then you already understand how this all works and you are bought in. It makes sense. This is just a secondary option for that customer who doesn't or isn't necessarily looking for all the features, or B, has a vehicle that doesn't really require an RR to begin with. So what are we talking about as far as price delta between an RR and an SR, for example?
Yeah, well, one of the things you'll notice about the SR and the RR is they both are installed with a T-harness, but they both use different T-harnesses. Like we have T-harnesses.
Hold on. Big point here.
Yeah.
So the T-harness SKU for the RR is not compatible with the SR. I think that's an important point to highlight.
Right. Yes, that's basically what I was going to say is we have two different T-harnesses. We have one set for the RR, and then we have one set for the SR. And there's a reason why we did that, because I can understand from a retailer's perspective, well, why do I have to stock two different types of T-harness? But again, the whole point of the SR was to lower cost, right?
Right.
And so if you look at, say, a Ford T-harness for the RR, it can retail as high as $100. But that same harness in a SR is about $40. So it's a $60 difference in cost. Yeah,
well, that's a big price difference. Okay.
And then you factor in the module itself is about $60 less. So overall, you're saving about $120. And in some cases, it can be even more. Some of our T-harnesses for the RR are expensive. But again, because we're not doing all of that extra integration, the T-harness isn't as involved. It's not as intricate. There's not as much engineering that goes into it. There's not as much wire. So all of that lowers the cost of the SR harness pretty substantially. Obviously, again, to the consumer, it's about $60 less. And that is why we need to have T-harnesses for both the SR and for the RR. And we couldn't, reuse the existing harnesses because they still would have been very expensive. But as far as installation goes, like you said, the process is the same. The flashing is the same. The installation of the T-harness is the same. The only major difference is you're not connecting that 4-pin data cable from the module to the radio. It's just going to be your steering wheel connections.
All right. So simplified install. So there's going to be a little bit of savings in the labor, cheaper harness or less expensive harness. So there's that level. And then also the unit itself. So at the end, when you're pricing out this radio install for this customer that's on a budget, it's going to be beneficial for sure. Your job as a dealer is to know what this is all about. And that's why we do this, Matt, just to make sure the dealers understand what the differences are.
Yeah. And if there's one other thing that I can add, that's probably more like the icing on the cake as far as what separates the SR from our competition is the ability to retain vehicle settings. So if the vehicle had a menu to access settings in the vehicle from the factory radio, with the RR, we retain all of that because it's a Maestro compatible radio. But with the SR, because we're using it with a non-Maestro compatible radio, we had to figure out a way to retain those vehicle settings so that the driver could access them if they need to. And so we came up with an app. It's called Maestro Central. It connects to the Maestro SR through Bluetooth, and it's only task it's designed to do is to retain those vehicle settings. So in that situation, if a customer needs to gain access to, say, change the remote start runtime or turn off their collision avoidance, whatever it may be, they can access all of that from their phone. And that is why Maestro is the only solution, whether we're talking about RR or SR, that can retain vehicle settings.
And that's your game changer little point right there. Again, you're tuning in. This is Maestro SR, a series that you may or may not be familiar with. Matt's come in and brilliantly explained exactly what the features and benefits are, what the differences are. Obviously, price being a huge part of that, but awesome features still within that ADS Maestro, ecosystem and process, and delivering a customer a more affordable way to get a non-Maestro compatible radio into a vehicle. So as far as SR applications, information, where should people go? And I assume, SR is fully underway, so there's a lot of applications.
Yes, we have quite a few applications. And really the easiest way is just to go to our website, iDataLinkMaestro.com. And when you actually enter a vehicle in, it will tell you if the SR is supported. And generally, if the SR is supported, obviously the RR will also be supported. But if we don't make a solution for that vehicle, only the RR will come up. So, basically you just search by vehicle, and depending on what radio you're selling your customer will determine if you want to do an SR or an RR.
There's an incredibly strong network of distributors across Canada. And today we're here at CMA Expo to speak with them and get a sense of how they feel about their partnership with SiriusXM.
SiriusXM helps connect our industry because we are reproducing music. We are delivering content in a different way. We deliver hard parts to consumer. They deliver us the content on those hard parts.
It's a great add-on for the head unit sale, and it's pretty much just a natural addition now to offer it to the customer after they purchase a new head unit for their car.
As a distributor of SiriusXM, we all benefit. As partners, they offer and bring to the table the love of music. We're all in this industry because ultimately we love music.
They've been a great partner, and they've actually created a lot of excitement again in the industry.
It really brings the whole industry together, and it's music-based. It's great. You know, that's what we do. We sell music. They provide content that's fabulous.
All right, we shift now our conversation to the safety side of things. And more specifically, we're talking about camera coverage on vehicles. What better to talk about this segment than with our friends at BRANDMOTION, the specialist in this field. And today we're going to be talking about a system that truly covers all the angles, and it's called 360 Surround View. Joining us now is our product specialist, Jamaka from BRANDMOTION. Welcome, Jamaka.
Hey Ben, thanks for having me on. And yes, today we'll be talking about the Surround View 360 with CarPlay and Android Auto for all of your visual and audible needs inside your vehicle.
Hey, Jamaka, always fun to have you here, especially when we're talking about vehicle safety. BRANDMOTION, you guys are experts at this. And today we're talking about a pretty unique, complete system when it comes to full view, really, of all your surroundings on any given vehicle. But more specifically, the model at hand is the 360 CarPlay model, the FLTW 3602-12. So help me understand what this is and what makes this solution so unique.
Yes, so this 360 builds off of our flagship Surround View 360 system. So you're still getting that top-down view of your vehicle and your surrounding area, and we're still the only one on the market where that view can also be three-dimensional, so you can pan manually. But now we're also integrating CarPlay and Android Auto and an AM/FM tuner radio built into it. So you can install your apps, you can still have your radio connection, and if you're a logistics company, you could even have a logistics app on there to have your routing and still have your safety all built in one place.
This sounds truly like an evolution of an already amazing product. You know, when I remember the first time we talked about the surround view and you walked us through the different modes and the view modes, and like you said, be able to literally control how you want to see everything. That was already revolutionary. But now you're adding all the creature comforts, right? Because you know, you already have a display, you have the cameras. Now you're taking advantage of that interface. So let's dive into that a little bit. The first thing that I'm going to talk about is Android Auto and CarPlay. So talk to us about how this is going to integrate into the surround view system now.
Yes, so this is going to work exactly the same as your OEM interface in your standard vehicle. So like if you had a really nice, Lexus or BMW and it had CarPlay and Android Auto built into it, it's just automatic on the screen. You get in, it connects to your phone, it pops up. This works the exact same way. You get in, it pops up. And just so you know, reverse always takes the override. So it does have that OEM level safety requirement where no matter what you're doing, right when you power it on, it goes straight to reverse. And then it can give you your CarPlay screen or Android Auto screen in full screen. You can do your music, your maps, and you can actually have your 360 view in a small picture-in-picture as well, and vice versa. So you can switch to the 360.
About multitasking simultaneously then.
Absolutely.
Between the features.
Yeah.
That's a very interesting, because a lot of units out there that do CarPlay, it's either one or the other. You got to choose what it is that you want to watch. But what you guys have done, have created an interface that you could customize how you want to multitask your views based on what it is that you want to achieve at that moment. That's very, very cool. Now, you mentioned about sound. Am I to assume this will also take over like tuner functionality?
Yes, so because we have that AM/FM tuner built into it, this can replace your stereo system in the vehicle, your head unit. So it can be that one-stop shop of your safety display and your radio and entertainment. And then it connects directly into your OEM speakers, and you're good as day.
I look at some of these commercial vehicles that I'm thinking about when I think about this solution here. Some of them don't even come with speakers. Some have a very basic like AM, FM radio, and not even a screen. This is a huge upgrade because what size is that screen that comes with this?
So that's a 9-inch screen, and I'm actually glad you brought that up because with a lot of these commercial vehicles, whether it's logistics or a walk-in van, they are installing a aftermarket, radio in there. And what this
Barely called
allows,
a radio. It's like
yeah. Yeah, and what this allows the upfitter to do or the shop to do is instead of sourcing a monitor for their cameras and a radio for their music or anything else, you can just buy the one system, you install it, and you have everything. You're cutting one hole and really simplify the process.
Yeah, it's really an all-in-one big upgrade. It's not a little upgrade, it's a huge upgrade.
Absolutely.
So I don't want to deter from the fact of the functionality and the uniqueness of the system itself. So I do want to spend some time talking about these views that you're talking about. You mentioned it earlier on, but unique view is that 3D bird's eye view I want you to talk about real quick.
Yeah, so with the 3D bird's eye view, it gives you full control of identifying what is the best angle for you? What is the best angle for your customer? Because this is designed for low speed collisions. So if you're next to a bollard or pylon or a construction zone and you're making that right hand turn, your passenger side door is your biggest blind spot. So you can make it so that you're panned directly to that passenger side door and make sure that your highest risk view is covered at all times. So it really makes it customizable for the user. And then you have 13 selectable views that can be triggered with your turn signals or reverse. So those are also
hold on.
automatic.
These are triggered video outputs?
Yes.
Okay, explain that a little bit more. I think this is an important point.
Yes, so we want to make sure the system can be as automatic and hands-free as possible. So CarPlay is already hands-free, Android Auto hands-free. Your camera system should be hands-free as well, so that when you hit your left turn signal or your right turn signal, the 360 screen automatically goes to that view. And that's again the same with maps. So if you have maps open and you hit your turn signal, it'll switch to that view. So it's still that automatic. And then when you're going into reverse, same thing.
I gotta say that's classy because some of the I happen to have a very recent model pickup truck, and if I put it on trailer mode, if I'm trailering, and I put on that signal, it automatically switches to that side blind spot camera, and it comes right back to whatever it is that I was doing before I triggered it. So that's a very slick move, and it's seamless. And I want to bring it up because honestly, there's not many systems out there that actually do that. All right, so if you're just tuning in, I got Jamaka here from BRANDMOTION. We're talking about the new 360 CarPlay version of the surround view, FLT W3602/12. We talked about the fact that it's Android Auto, it's CarPlay. You can multitask. It has triggered video outputs. It's got this really cool signature 3D bird's eye view. You have coverage everywhere. You can even upgrade your radio because this thing has a tuner. Last question I have for you is this thing available yet? And where should people go get more information?
Yes, this is available today, and you can buy it at any distributor that you purchase from today, as well as any e-com locations such as Crutchfield, eTrailer, or Amazon.com.
And that's a wrap on this week's episode of CMA Live All Access, presented by SiriusXM. Make sure to check out all our videos on CMAnetworks.com. I'm your host, Ben Wu. Until next time, connect.
There's never been a better time to have SiriusXM with over 150 channels in your vehicle. Your Platinum Plan offer includes more than ever before to enjoy online, on your phone, or at home. Create your own ad-free personalized stations powered by Pandora. Hear ad-free extra channels and enjoy favorite shows with SiriusXM Video on Demand. What you love is